ask me.
Nick, you want to start us?
Just how is this spring practice for you? Does it feel different than previous spring practices? How is your group coming together?
That's a real good question. It's a tough question to ask. Yes, it feels different. I mean, I'm missing Jimmy Horn, LaJohntay Wester, Will Shepard, and Travis Hunter. So, yeah, it's extremely different. But what I'm pleased about is how the guys are accepting the responsibility of who's next. And so that's encouraging to see the guys that are here, the guys that we brought in, the freshmen from last year. It's refreshing to have Cam back, just to kind of see him move around a little bit. Obviously, Omarion has been able to do some things the last couple of days, so just kind of get him back to where he was before he got injured. I sang with Cam, get him back to where he was before he got injured. But I'm excited because the attitude in the room has been great. No one in that room is basically taking a position as to it's going to be me, but they're working to establish themselves as that guy.
Given that you've got so many young guys in that group, how important has Terrell Timmons' leadership been in your room?
It's been very important for him to accept that role. But what I would prefer he do is basically, just work at being a better Terrell Timmons. Just constantly focus on himself. He could make some contributions to the group last year, but I just need to see him take that next step is from a production standpoint. He knows what he's doing out there. He has the ability to lead, but I like to see more production out of Terrell at this point.
Brian, you go.
Coach, with Omarion, over the last couple of years, we've seen a couple different spurts with him, but obviously that consistency, staying healthy, things like that. What does he have to do to become that one type receiver that he looks like he could be?
Just get in the weight room with Coach Swayze and fall in love with the process in there, because that will help him stay on the field and play more consistent for us on the football field. I think he's done a good job of that. I think Coach Swayze and his staff has done a good job of embracing that with him, because we had a conversation when he first got here. He's my meter in the room. So if I see him taking strides and bettering himself, it just lets me know that everybody else in the room is going to be that much better. But he's my barometer at this point.
Jake, go ahead.
Coach, just Cam Michael, getting him back, how important or what's the impact he's had, just missing all that time? I mean, what was it, 8 months that he missed on the
Yeah,
field?
it was quite a bit of time, but just having him back, obviously the thing that jumps out to you immediately is the speed. He can run, so that's something desperately we need, something we need to continue to develop with him. He's doing the best he can as far as understanding his role, and we're going to do more to help him understand that. But, he just needs to get active and continue to come every day to get better, and he's doing that.
Scott, go ahead.
Hey, Coach Brown told us a couple weeks ago that he's really just been impressed with Isaiah Harge and him coming kind of in his own in the slot position. What have you seen from him this spring? We've obviously seen flashes in the game, but
there's a reason why he was in a great jersey. Because that kid is ultra talented. He can play both sides of the ball. He has a dedication to the game. He's committed to football. He loves the process. A lot of guys like the end result, but nobody likes the process. But he embraces the process and he does the work. And he's somebody that the more he's with us, the better he gets. He improves every single day. So I'm excited about him and his development. I do see him as a guy that can replace some of that production on the inside between LaJohntay and Jimmy. So I'm excited about Isaiah and looking forward to his development moving forward.
Yeah, when you went out to the portal, what were the specific traits, what were the specific things you were looking for, and are you still looking for some of those things?
We're always looking, all right, because we got to keep pressure on these guys because of the way the portal works and the way things are, they're looking. so we have to continue to look too. But I think the main thing is just looking for chemistry guys that fit who we are, that fit our culture. I think the biggest message we've tried to convey to everyone that comes here on a visit is, this is a different place. our head coach and the things that expectations here are high. This is not a developmental place. So you have to have the right mindset in order to come in here and be counted on, okay? Because the expectations at a whole nother level. Every play here matters. And so that's what we're looking for besides talent.
Actually, as a follow-up to that, from your perspective, what separates Colorado from everywhere else?
I've been a lot of different places, man. The expectations aren't. You don't feel the weight like you feel here. You feel the weight, right? You guys put expectations on us because of our head coach. Our head coach is not a shy guy. He's going to stand here and tell you exactly how he feels. So we all embrace that. We've all had a background, NFL background, where you have to be at your best all the time. And so that's what these kids have to understand. So that's not like that everywhere. Some places they take time to develop guys. We're not in a position like that. We're in a position where we have to win now, because the expectations are and the things that we say, the stuff we put out there, that's what's expected of us. So we have to do that.
There you go.
Coach, you mentioned at the outset how much different the group is this year, a lot more younger guys. How much more fundamental, maybe basic teaching do you have to do this year? How much different is that for you this time around?
It's actually fun because you get back to the fundamentals and the basics and developing guys. Last year we didn't have that luxury. We had a lot of veteran guys in the room and just kind of let them play the game. but now you have to teach guys this, formations, alignment, and those types of things. So it's been refreshing, right? It's kind of bringing me back to who I am. That's why I'm a fundamental developmental guy. So I like developing guys. I don't really care about the talent. We can get you to where you want to get to. You have to be willing to do the fundamentals and basics. Then that's all about the process. That's all the process, right? So that's been refreshing. It's been great.
With this team, we've consistently seen a freshman step into those roles. With Omarion, Draylon Miller last year. Of your group of freshmen, who do you see maybe taking a more prominent role this season?
Well, that's a great question, but I really like to see all those guys do that. I mean, we don't bring freshmen in here as you guys do the track record. We don't bring you in here to watch. We don't bring you in here to develop. We bring you in here with the expectation you'll be able to contribute at some point. So I'm excited about the freshmen we have in here, and I can't really pinpoint one guy. I'll just say they're all lumped in the same category. We expect to get something out of those guys this season.
With Draylon, started kind of smaller, limited packages at the beginning of the outset last year. How did you see his development, and what kind of year do you expect from him in year 2?
I expect him to pick up where he left off. I mean, again, the Draylon's a perfect example with the freshman. Back to your question, the freshman we have right now, that was a process. It took about week 3, 4, 5 before you actually saw what he was capable of. So those guys are on the right track, and I just expect Draylon to pick up where he left off. Be a leader for those guys too, because he's walked that path. So he needs to reach back. And he's his brother's keeper. So he got to reach back and kind of help those guys along the way.
Anything else for Coach?
Just speaking more on Draylon, just following with him. How cool is it to see him out there on Friday during the pro day and running routes with Shador and the rest of those guys and looking really impressive?
Wasn't cool at all because he was in the backfield, and I don't want to lose him early to the pros or to the backfield. So it wasn't cool from that standpoint. But no, it was just to see that. What that was basically, Shador having trust in him. So to your question, to see his maturation, how he got when he first got here as a freshman to where he is now, to where a guy that's a potential first-round draft pick, it believes in him enough to have him be a part of his workout. So that was pretty cool.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Coach.
You got it.